Hello friends, hello specifically Aquarius friends. This reading is going to be a look ahead at the first quarter of 2026 for our friends that have major Aquarius placements. So your Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node, Venus. Even if you don't have any of those particular, like your big three, maybe if you have a stellium, which is like a bunch of stuff in Aquarius, or in the house that's ruled by Aquarius, which I believe is the 11th house, this reading could be for you. Only you will know. It will resonate for you, which means you'll get some kind of intuitive nudge that this makes sense to you. And if it doesn't, then feel free to check your other placements. Sometimes messages can come through more clearly for your other placements. These readings are all collective, so not every part of the message will make sense for everybody because they're not personal readings. But if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can always do that only through my website. If anybody messages you soliciting you, it's not me. Block and delete them. Yeah, I think that's all of the that's all of the intro stuff we need to cover. I'm doing these for all of the signs, so I'm just trying to make sure that I've said all of the things that I need to say. If you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm Jess. I am your slightly awkward, pretty witchy, pretty autistic internet witchy friend. Or maybe you know me in real life. Maybe we're real friends. And if we are, thanks for being here. Even if we're not friends in real life yet, thanks for being here. I appreciate your support, and hopefully you get some good stuff out of these readings. Okay. I'm shaking my head because this is the part where I get awkward, and then I'm like, should I start over? No, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. I do always shuffle and cleanse the decks thoroughly before you guys see me pick them up, which is a process longer than anybody needs to watch. But for your reading tonight, Aquarian friends, I am using the Hocus Pocus Tarot. That's what the back of the cards look like. We're also going to be using a couple of oracle decks, specifically going to start with, this is the Universe Has Your Back oracle deck. I always like to show what the back of the cards look like. People spend a lot of time working on those, and I have quite a few because I think they're cool looking, and so I like to share that. Okay, let me consult my notes. I wrote some questions down, what I want to pull on. Okay, so we're gonna do a tarot and an oracle card for the overall energy for Q1, quarter one, January, February, March. For the overall energy will be the tarot, and how you can best approach the energy, like what attitude would be best for you to have in dealing with those energies. And then we'll do the same for each January, February, March. And then I thought we could find out what's going to be going well, what are some potential challenges, and then where you should focus your energy in like what would be the most aligned use of your energy, like. And then I think we'll just pull, I have the Green Witch's Oracle. I think we'll just do kind of one final what else you need to know message from there. Okay, that feels like a good place to start. Hang on. Get some water. Okay. Yeah, let's just dive in. Let's just see. All right, what is the overall energy for these, for our Aquarian friends for the first quarter? Overall energy for this first part of the year. And then we'll do one card each for January. go. January and then February. I always when I do these kinds of readings, I like to pull the cards upside down, and then we can check them together. All right, and then one for March, please. Just one. These cards are still a little new, so they do stick a little bit. March. I'm just going to do the same for the oracle cards, and then we'll look at them all together. Overall energy Q1 for Aquarius. Oh, it's too many. I don't take it unless it feels right. So sometimes that means we have to shuffle for another minute, and that's okay. All right, one for January, please. The energy for January. And February. March. Let's start with these, and then we'll dive into the second set of questions afterwards. Okay, so overall energy for the next 3 months. Ooh, I love this for you, Aquarius. You got Judgment. Okay, Judgment is not about judging, in case you don't know. So Judgment is a renewal. It's a rebirth, and it has specifically usually to do with a spiritual rebirth. So this could be as subtle as just having a more open mind, a new perspective. Maybe just, it could be as subtle as watching a tarot reading, being open-minded to something a little more esoteric, a little more woo. It could also be life-changingly serious. Yeah, it could be just incredibly, it could be a very impactful moment when you are literally having a complete spiritual awakening, perhaps. Yeah, I feel like, and again, this is a collective reading, so for some of you it's going to be lighter, and for some of you it's going to be the more serious one, but I can definitely feel for at least a couple people here, there's been a serious shift, and it's interesting because I feel like for somebody there's a shift from kind of being like not a believer to a believer, whatever that means for you. You know, from somebody that was more scientific and atheist to now really being open-minded about how spirit is all around us. Or it could be maybe you have been a believer in more your whole life, but now you've had an experience where you went from it being kind of like, I believe in the idea of more, to experiencing that moment. And let me tell you, that can be jarring. Again, been there. However, it can also be incredibly comforting and moving, and it just kind of like rearranges a lot for you. So that's what I'm seeing as the overall energy. The overall energy for these next few months is you're having this awakening, this new perspective, this new consideration of how you want to approach the world from it's not just a spiritual perspective, right? Because that changes how you move in the world in so many other ways. Having a new perspective, a spiritual rebirth, changes how you approach your relationships. It changes how you approach what you want to do with your life. I mean, it really can be such a dramatic shift. But it's very positive. It's very positive and uplifting. even though you might be kind of in the midst of the like, holy shit, and what does it all mean, and how am I going to like integrate this into my life, it feels really positive. All right, we're really kicking it off with a bang. All right, and then what is the best way? Haha. Oh, I love they even kind of match. Okay, so the overall energy the next few months is judgment, and then how for you to best approach this time. This says, I am loving. I am the loving energy of the universe. Right? And perhaps this spiritual awakening, this spiritual experience has awoken a very loving energy in you. Maybe it's unlocked whatever was holding you back from sharing being a loving energy in the universe. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you were constrained and now you're not. All right, let's dive in more. Let's see, what is January? Okay, overall energy for January is the 5 of Pumpkins. That is going to be the 5 of Pentacles in the traditional deck. So the 5 of Pentacles talks about scarcity. And it's an interesting card because some people interpret the card as being like something to be worried about or something to be nervous about, or of it being a bad thing. And really, it's an invitation to be mindful of our perspective, because in the traditional depiction of this card, there are these figures, and they are outside in the winter, in the snow, and they're kind of like shivered and huddled, but they're right outside, like a church that is warm and lit up and is inviting. And the card is supposed to remind us that even in our hardest times, even in the winter, right, which we are now firmly into, even as we're in these moments, there is always help right around the corner. There's always something there that there's always some measure of the universe coming to support you, and you just have to look for that and not let yourself get sucked into pardon me, still not all the way well. Yeah, and just not let yourself get kind of sucked into this like scarcity mindset or limiting belief mindset, or you know, like any kind of victim mentality. It's just really, so there might be something that comes up in January that either, you know, there might be like a slowdown in work. For instance, a lot of places are closing for a little while. Like the place I work is going to be closed for a week. So it could be something like that, where like your material resources might be affected, and might just be limited a little bit. And so they're saying like that might happen. And it could be other ways too. That's just one example of how it could show up for people. But to not let it overrun you, to not, they're like, woe is me. They're like, you know, don't worry about that. Everything's gonna be fine. There's always help coming from somewhere, and if you're open to it, the universe will send you everything you need, either in resources or via opportunities or people. So just be mindful to not fall victim to like any victim mentality. Okay, and the energy for how you should best to approach this energy, how you should best approach this energy for January says, I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. I love that, right? Because you can't be focusing on this and be in this sort of like everything's going wrong spiral. So that is very helpful to like do everything you can to get closer to consciousness, to be self-aware, to be connected, when you are feeling connected to your inner self, your higher self, that higher power. You know, you can't be in aligned energy and victim energy at the same time. So, okay, let's move on and see what's going on for February. All right, overall energy for February. Ooh, yes, love this. Ace of Candles, which is Ace of Wands in this deck. So, things get moving, let's go. Also really interesting, February is kind of the time when things generally are kind of frozen. So this is really positive, and this indicates that you don't let January derail you, right? There might be like a little hiccup in January, but that's not going to derail you because new stuff is coming in February. Ace of Wands. Wands as a suit represent our things that we take action on, our passions, creativity. So this is like new things starting, new things that you're feeling passionate about, new opportunities to express yourself creatively. Adventure is also represented by Wands, so maybe there might be some new adventure in your life in some shape or form in February. Okay, and then the advice is energy flows where my intention goes. That's true, right? So clearly feeling much more aligned in February because Ace of Wands, that is energy flowing, that is things moving. And also it is the suit that represents the element of fire. So again, fire, passion, creativity. So that's exciting, good stuff. Okay, and then March, we have, ooh, Page of Candles. Again, more fire energy, very positive. And then the advice is, I honor how I want to feel. I honor how I want to feel. I love that. So pages bring this fresh perspective. They are this new energy. And again, sticking in the same area of Wands, but in this case, this could represent I'm hearing like new opportunities in your career, feeling kind of like more specific. So this could be something you're working in already, or this could be that something in February sparks a moment of inspiration, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe something, you're going through this rebirth and you're spending time working on yourself in reflection, whatever, all of the stuff, doing the work, right? And then that sparks some deeper knowing of yourself, and then a moment of inspiration and creativity. Maybe in February, you get an idea to write a book. And maybe in March, you're figuring out how to go about doing that. The page brings about energy of like being an eager student, being enthusiastic to learn and to grow and to invest in things that you're feeling creative and passionate and adventurous about, wanting to take action, but also kind of figuring out the best way to take action and being invested in learning about that. So that's exciting. Okay. All right, where were we? Feels like an exciting spring coming for you, friends, but also like a pretty great winter. January, yeah, there might be like a little hardship in January, or like a blip, or like won't even let me say hardship. They're like, it's just a cycle of life. It's just that there's things that come into our experience to create, contrast, which creates desire, which then we can fulfill the desires and move more life through us and all that good shit. But this does really feel very, and no, there's a lot of like very new and fresh an exciting energy here I can feel for you. And it feels like on like multiple fronts. So clearly the self-development, huge, the spirituality, that part being really exciting, those insights and integrations and the way that you're going to put all that stuff together, it's just it's beautiful, very satisfying. And really is promoting so much growth for you in so many ways. And then to be able to kind of tangibly put that into movement. Yeah, it just feels like very exciting new energy. And then the way that'll spill over into the other parts of your life is going to be like a really fun domino set for you. Okay, what were the other questions? Okay, all right, let's see. So what is, where should you focus your energy these next 3 months? Like, where should you focus your energy that's going to be the most aligned, the most helpful for you to achieve some goals that you have? Whether that's, professional or personal, like what would be the best use of your energy the next couple of months? Ooh, interesting. Okay. All right. So interesting. I love this. Sorry, hang on. It takes a second sometimes to put it together. All right. We have 4 of pumpkins, 4 of pentacles, 5 of lightning, which is 5 of swords. We also have the devil. It's the master in this deck. And then we have 2 of potions, which is 2 of cups, and 8 of potions, 8 of cups. Okay. There's a handful here, but I do feel like the message is actually pretty straightforward. Let me see the best way to articulate this for you. Don't waste your energy. Be really mindful where you're spending your energy. Like, this is what's going to be the most helpful for you to focus on, right? That's the question, is like, where should you spend your energy in order to like move things forward for you, in order to be like the most aligned, to move your life forward in a tangible like way that you'll be happy with, right? Like that's what I was getting at. So this is really about not wasting your time on bullshit. There's it's kind of like this, what's that, like there's 2 wolves inside you shit. It's that kind of thing. So over here on one hand, we've got scarcity thinking, limiting beliefs, it's 4 pumpkins, like miserly attitudes. There's just like, yeah, it's scarcity mindset, like not having enough, and that's not just money and resources, but that's in our dealings with people, that's having trust issues in our relationship, or not being generous with our friends. It's also having small thinking in terms of like what we're capable of. So there's that. Then we also have 5 of lightning, conflict. So that's conflict. It's more of a mental thing. So it's like, don't engage in, or don't argue with dumb people. but it's like, don't waste your energy like in conflict and in arguing with people. And then the Master, that card represents addiction, again, limiting beliefs, obsessive thinking, behaviors that don't serve us. So there's like, some of this stuff's gonna come up, and I just the way they're showing it's kind of like whack-a-mole. It's like, this is gonna come up, this is gonna come up, this is gonna come up, and for you to not let yourself be pulled into any of that. So it's like petty disagreements is what the five of lightning feels like. This doesn't even feel like it really has much to do with you specifically, but just you being around this. So this could be like work, family, friends situation, but it just feels like there's some like petty drama bullshit. And I just see this kind of like, no, you listen to us, so listen to us, and you just being in the middle. And then the Master, that's more, at least the way that it's coming through now, is just falling prey to your own limiting beliefs about yourself. That and the Four of Pentacles. So there seems to be some kind of influence. I don't know whether that's somebody else's influence coming in, meaning like somebody else that you end up like running into your circle or through work, that is, oh god, that is such an old reference now. I'm not even sure that's correct. So they're just giving me like a really, it's showing my age, a Pauly Shore reference. It's like they're harsh in the vibe. Is that right? Is that Pauly Shore? Anyways, there's this kind of bullshit energy. So you could choose to engage in that stuff. And it's like choosing to engage in one of these brings about all of them, right? Because whatever kind of energy we're focused on is what expands. So if we're over here in the fuckery, then that's what you're gonna get more of. But you have another opportunity instead to go over here. Eight of Cups is about leaving what no longer serves you, what's no longer aligned. That's leaving all of this nonsense over here. Leaving that and choosing to move in the direction of love instead. Two of Cups. Love, flowing relation, understanding. It is the card that represents romantic love, but if you don't have romantic love in your life right this minute, it also is asking you to still move in the direction of love. So it's like, you could, as just an example, it's like you could get in an argument or a debate with somebody who's being petty, and who is committed to misunderstanding you and just trying to piss you off. Or, you know, maybe you have a friend that you can talk to that when you talk to them makes you feel happy and brings joy to your life and brings love to your heart. It's like, there are lots of ways that you could choose to engage in that. And then when you do, you are kind of strengthening the bridge on this side, the love side, and more love can flow to you. So if romantic love is something that you're wanting in your life and you don't have, then follow the signs. Follow the signs to the love. Like, leave the stuff that doesn't serve you and align with what feels good. Also, you know, as we move through life, we go through different chapters, and some people that were aligned with us in previous chapters now no longer are. Especially if you're having this big rebirth, right? This big spiritual rebirth, then maybe certain people in your life, or a group of people, maybe the community that you used to align yourself with, maybe that doesn't fit now, this new way that you're seeing the world. And it doesn't mean that you have to vilify any of that. Doesn't mean that you were wrong for choosing that path up until now, or that there's anything wrong with it. It just means that it's not aligned for you any longer, and that's okay. Choosing to leave what isn't ringing our bell anymore, it's brave, number one. It takes courage to leave what we know, what the familiar. Even if it's not really comfortable, we're comfortable in the uncomfortability sometimes. So it takes courage to leave that. But also, you taking that step lets the universe reward you in huge ways. So don't be afraid. Go towards the love, friend. Go towards the love. Two of lightning, two of swords. It's okay. It's okay that you're not fully sure what direction to move, that you don't really know yet, that you can't think of what way to go. This card, traditional depiction, she's blindfolded because sometimes you cannot use your brain to make these decisions. Sometimes you have to trust your gut. And the Two of Swords is telling you, you can trust yourself to lead yourself in the right direction. You have all the tools you need. You're very connected, Aquarius. All right, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop after this one. We have Temperance here. Temperance is all about patience, but it's not just about patience for waiting's sake. Temperance is about bringing things back into balance and alchemy. It's about transmuting things from one state into another and bringing things back into balance. So you got everything you need to for that. So okay, that's what you should focus on. Goodness, that was kind of a lot there. That was kind of a lot for what you should focus on. All right, what else did we say? Quickly, please. They're never good. Okay. All right, let's do one quick card, please, Spirit, on what's gonna be going well. What's going well for these next 3 months? What's gonna be a positive area? Okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so we have Seven of Lightning, which is Seven of Swords. So something that's gonna be, interestingly, not always taken as a positive card, but yeah, this just feels to me like, so moving away from any kind of like manipulation, deception, whether that is being involved with other people that are being deceptive, and that's not always as malicious as the connotation of that word is. Sometimes being deceptive with people is just not telling somebody how you feel, and that's not usually for bad reasons. Sometimes that's because we don't know what to say yet, or we're scared, or we're nervous, but it feels like there's something hidden. There's something either being hidden, manipulated, and so you're going to be moving away from that. And that's what's going to be something that's going to be going positive. So maybe you have feelings. Maybe you'll be confessing those, and maybe that will lead to the start of something new for you. All right, and then what potential challenge to be on the lookout for? LOL. They love a repeating message. We got Four of Pumpkins, which is Four of Pentacles again. So challenges to be on the lookout for: scarcity-minded thinking, limiting beliefs. Don't believe them. Don't believe them, right? Even here in January, you have the 5. So this came out in the last one, what we were just talking about a second ago, right? What to be mindful of, not falling into the trap of scarcity thinking or limiting beliefs. So those are your potential challenges. Don't fall into them. Okay. timing wise. I was hoping to keep these around half an hour, so that's not terrible. Okay. All right. And then just one last message for the road for you. This is the Green Witch's Oracle. One last message for what Aquarius needs to know for this first quarter of 2026. Hang on. All right, we got planning, setting intentions, optimism. It's on page 123, so 1, 2, 3, progressive numbers, like that means the energy is unimpeded, moving forward, so that's really good. All right. Card meaning. Seeds may be the nebulous concept, and soil the fertile ground to nourish them, but the act of sowing is what unites the two and initializes the process of germination. When you sow seeds, you scatter them in or on the earth, asking the soil to help them grow. For a time, the seeds have to remain quiet underground before they can launch into the world. This dormancy allows them the opportunity to gather strength. The sow card tells you that now is the optimal time to set things in motion. Plant your seeds and nurture them. Lock in your intentions and take the first steps along the path you've planned. Act now for future yield. Prime your material and environment for the best outcome. If you've been hesitating, now is the time to act. And then there's a reflection question, and it says, are you ready to start something new? I love that. Okay. Well, super aligned for this time of year. Starting to plan and think and figure out, like, what are your intentions for this coming year? Even though energetically March, the spring equinox, is the energetic start of the new year, modern society takes a step forward with the turning of the Gregorian calendar, and this time of year it really is helpful to start having a new mindset for what you want to do in the spring. You have to start planning for what you want to do. Talk to any gardener. They are deeply planning their gardens right now. All right, I think that's where we're gonna cut it. All right, Aquarius friends, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you are interested in booking a personal reading just to make sure that all of the messages are for you, you can do that. Again, you can only do it through my website. I think I said that in the opener. If not, you can only do that through my website. I will never solicit you for a reading. I will never WhatsApp you or send you a DM asking you if you want a reading from me first. So if anybody does that, they're not me. Block, report, delete, etc. I think that's it. Okay, that's it. All right, I love you guys. Catch you later.